Did that work? Yes, I think it did. Hello, everyone. We are back for the second part. Yeah, the second. Well, why am I questioning? There's only two parts. Well, it's definitely the second part because it's not the first one. So we're back for the second part, and we are about to see. We're about to see Stavros get absolutely chewed out by
yeah.
a.
In the last 5 minutes, I somehow totally forgot that.
You forgot what happened.
Yep.
Alrighty, so what does this look like? This is a desperate full fail. Full fail. So let's quickly consult the rules so I know that I am giving you as many awful things as possible. So it's the worst outcome. You suffer severe harm, a serious complication occurs, you lose this opportunity for action. Alright. Severe harm might be a bit of a stretch. But I don't think it's entirely off the cards. Actually, yeah, I don't think it is at all. So we see. So you're trying to go through. Stavros, just remind me. You're here, like. You're slowly dropping the act because you're like asking more questions and trying to really get into the feel of this role, right? Okay, yeah. So that's where like these folks live, right? Like that's their jam. Their whole shtick is to get people into an emotional state and to divert someone's emotional state so that they are insensible, so that they're tripping up, so that they can't think straight. And whilst it's probably the best way to fight them as well, it really is fighting fire with fire. So I think that that's what we see. Like you're going through, into this more emotional state. You're talking through your like the circumstances that led you to be here, building this lie up, and the Jubilant is like sitting across from you in this table. They've probably got like their legs up on the desk, and they've pushed things to the side, but it's that messiness where like it seems completely planned, right? But they've sort of just filled this space with themselves, and their face is becoming softer and smiling more as they're listening, and they seem to be, taking on a little bit more of a mentor role for you. And just as, we see Stavros' eyes flick up to like think you've bought into this and you've got them into that same emotional state that you seem to be in. We see the camera, like one shot is them leaning back, feet up on the table, listening with a soft face, and then we see the shot from like the shot at Stavros, like looking at down at the desk, like working through this as you're sort of like spilling out information. Then we see you look up, and the camera immediately cuts to behind your head, and they are like they've just completely shifted in their position, and they're like essentially going to jam a really long needle thin stiletto through your eye out the back of your head and just kill you in one go. Like they have utterly seen through your ruse. They know exactly, that they've figured out enough of the subtext around what you've said, what you've accidentally spilled out through your little bit of exposition, and they are murdering you. that's their move here. So this would be level 4 harm that they are applying to you. Instant fatality by putting a needle through your eye into your brain.
Ouch.
What would you like to do, Stavros?
Is everybody gone by the time this happens?
Yeah, good question. What does everyone else do? What?
Sorry, I had myself muted.
Yeah, sorry.
I just would like to say that if, like, when you go to death, Kane will know, regardless of where Kane is. Like,
Right,
we're connected. Okay. I have a good spiritual connection with ghosts and stuff. So if you do decease, there's unfinished business, I will know.
Yeah.
You will emerge as a ghost, and I will be hyper aware of this.
So
to the point with, like, fatality, I'm going to be the first to know and go, like, holy shit! And I'm going to tell everyone else, like, what's happened, and I'm going to be, like, pretty fucking messed up.
Yeah, so if you don't
so
resist...
This is another room?
So they're currently inside the foreman's office, and they've been there for a little while, right? So, like, I would say, like, 20 minutes or something. Like, it's not a quick conversation that's happened here. So
are there windows? Like, can we see in, or is it just?
It would be a box room. There would be windows at the front of it, which lead on to, like, the gang, like the catwalk railing, and then there would be that would continue around and then go down for the stairs at the side, and these would be like. These would be glass windows here, but they're glass windows with that, like, mesh netting in it, so you can't, like, you couldn't smash them down if you wanted to, but you can definitely see in.
So we can see them there?
If you want to be still outside, you can definitely see them, or, you know, you've had 20 minutes, so you can be anywhere, right? Like, you could have used this time to make your getaway, right? Because you've achieved the job, you've got your supply into this place, and it is being disseminated probably better than you could have hoped for, right? Like, because they're disseminating it themselves.
Do you have something that you want to do here, Lavender, or?
I think I'm just going to get stabbed through the brain.
And die? Okay.
And would you do this to Kane?
Do I want to resist this? Do you want one of us to resist this?
Okay. So if you're method acting, I don't know if you can really sense the fact that you're in a lot of trouble right now and that the fear is coming. So I don't think I can resist on your behalf. I don't have a valid reason as to think that you're in danger right now. I can't sense any fear because you're method acting, unfortunately. So I've got no tools there. Of course, upon death, I will know, but it'll be too late.
Yes.
So I can't think of any reasonable thing as to why Kane would be able to resist this.
Where is
Kane?
Exactly.
Kane was... Okay, so if we're going through the fact that... Is this kind of sometime after?
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes after the falling over and them entering.
I think in this situation, if we managed to get out of the building yet, is the next question we've left.
Yeah, that's up to you. That's up to you. Like, that's sort of what you can do.
Right, because I think at this point, Kane probably wants to get this clothing off as soon as possible.
Okay.
So, Kane is uncomfortable. Kane is not, like, once the jig is up, Kane is like, I gotta get out of this. We're fine. So I think at this point, Kane's probably gone to change, has gone back into, like, commoner gear, and is just waiting for the others to reconvene at the front.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, Kane is unable to do any kind of resisting or even be aware until it's too late.
Have you headed back to the lair, or are you, like, have
No.
you gone into a back alley somewhere to take off these clothes?
I've gone into a back alley to change, yeah.
Cool. All right, so you're still nearby.
I think I have, like, a way that I could resist if you want me to. Like, if you want, like, to get stabbed, that's fine. Like,
I am ready to make the sacrifice for the score.
Wow. Okay.
Quite the sacrifice.
I think we should try and resist, only if to keep, because if this is a situation where, just to be fully aware, Kane is not going to be okay from this. This will be a huge stress on Kane. So we'll have a party moment and probably an unfunctional whisper for a little bit at least. I mean, I guess if you were to come as a ghost, there's obviously trauma there, but it could be workable.
I guess if we were, like, to kill this person, which is possibly or fight against this person, that would probably be a worse eventual outcome than you dying, right? Like, because the church would be super pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's arguable.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think this is a this is an intentional suicide move. I think this is legitimately I've gotten too deep into the role and I've made a mistake.
Right. Okay. Well, I would like to do a flashback.
Okay.
Which is we leave, but I'm not prepared to actually leave. Because like this is not like when we left Seneca with the editor of the Increase. Like the stakes are much higher. We leave. I would like to then go do some climbing and get into a position where I have a shot into the room, so that I can back up Stavro if needed.
I would say at this point, like while we're having this discussion, Kane is like he's still in there. Like, for all we know, he's probably talking to the person that came here in the first place. We need to see what's going on. And then you suggest, hey, if I can get a good sight to this, I can kind of see into the window and see if he's doing okay. Like, we're at this point where we're discussing that you're up there, and you're like, that's like, it's a great idea. We need to have this consolation because no one wants to go anywhere until we can find out what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm good with that too.
Okay, yeah. And so will I be making a roll to get into a position, or
I don't think
my intention
so.
then is my intention is to resist by like taking a shot, and given it's a resistance, I expect I would not be hitting, but I would be like my thought is I would disrupt again, like and maybe shock Stavro out of this trance.
Just before we go on, I just want to confirm, Stavral's pronouns are they, them, right? Not he, him. Okay, cool. Let's awesome.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Cool. Yeah. So I don't think it's a roll to set up your sniper position. I do think that it is a stressful flashback. So I think it's one stress to have gotten into that position. But we can definitely say that you're across the street, and you've found like the exact spot where there's just a lineup of several windows where you can get a clean shot. It's probably not going to be a clean shot at this person themselves. It's probably going to be stopped by the last window or get ricocheted off, or you're not confident that it's going to hit them. But you are confident that it's going to be enough to like break the scene, distract them enough for Stavral to react, right?
Yeah. Yep.
God, I need some of that crit roll luck.
So where are you just for this Seneca? Just so that we know the positioning of everyone. Brandon?
Yes?
Oh, no.
Where's Seneca? Where do you think Seneca is? But hang on, how did you just go mute? You were just saying something. That's wild. You've muted again, Brandon. How did that happen though? Like I don't. That's so weird. Okay, give it a shot.
Right.
Okay.
Hello.
Perfect.
Yay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right. Because you cut out for a moment and I didn't hear what you were saying.
Okay. I was mainly saying that you had gone mute. So
okay,
where is Seneca?
I think Seneca would have known that this score would involve at some point somebody would be alone.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I think Seneca and Kane would have left together.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we would have known somebody would, if circumstances were to change, we still know where we're supposed to meet up afterward and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So you're probably with Kane then, right? You're probably in the same alley as Kane, and you can choose to have gotten out of your Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh clothes or not. That's in your ballpark.
I'm definitely still in my
You're
clothes.
still in them?
I'm actually still grinning at Kane, poking fun at how easy it was to be embarrassed.
Fucking Kane, man. He's worried about his self-image. He's worried about Stavro.
It's a mess.
It's a fucking mess. stress, dude. He's just the red ball of stress and fucking subconscious.
Alrighty,
They're just not having a good time.
let's see this. I think this resist from Sabine is insight, because this is like you lining up the exact perfect time. It's carrying off the back of like hunt and things like that, right? Because you're sniping from this position here. You're not you're not trying to like move in the same fight as this person. You're trying to cancel their fight, right?
It's all about timing.
Exactly, yeah.
Because I'm not gonna do anything until it turns badly, and it sounds like it turns bad really quickly.
Oh yeah. It's like a viper striking, that they're just leaning back, and you would see the whole thing. You would see them leaning back, and then as soon as several like glances at the ground, they move viper quick, like slide off their feet from the table down to the ground in the same movement, draw this needle from nowhere that's like, you know, a foot long, and are just straight driving it towards Stavril's eye and brain.
and like Sabine has been like sitting there like with this rifle like almost completely still, like no movement at all, like for the 20 minutes of this conversation, like looking down.
That's what you've been trained to do. Yeah, this is your thing.
So I think we see the camera like from. We see the camera like looking at Stavril now and following with the momentum of the pin driving forward. But then it really quickly moves from that through the windows towards like up the barrel of Sabine's gun to the eye of Sabine there, like ready to fire. So let's see that resistance roll.
Okay. Fortunately, insight's my best. Please. So
I'm so tense.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, I successfully resist, right? No matter what I do, it's just how much stress I take.
I think the successful resistance here will be to make them hesitate. I will knock this down to level 2 harm. They're still going to cut you up, and you're still going to be in this scrap, but you don't immediately die, Stavril.
That's good.
So, let's see that.
Hey, a 6.
Oh, a 6. Nice. Okay, so no stress. Well, this is just cool as.
I'm having a good day.
Yeah.
You're all having a bad time. I'm having a great time.
You're having a really fucking good day. This team right here, right now. It's like we're all just fucking hopeless, but you're just on point all the time. You bailed us out of the first situation. You're bailing us out of the second.
So I think the
queen of this.
This needle's driving straight for Stavril. The bullet hits the window and goes through the glass. It shatters but doesn't all fall down because it's being held up by the mesh. And the bullet ricochets through the rifling, making it careen off to the side. Digs into the desk and like burrs in a huge big line on the wooden desk in the foreman's office. An inch from the Jubilant's hand, which is now like planted on the table as they're diving over it. And that makes them like flinch for the briefest second, and that needle, which was going like perfectly uneerily straight, careens off to the side, and instead of just driving through Stavril's eye, carves up the side of their face, leaving this huge big gash that goes from like the side of your eye back to over your ear, and just basically like in an instant that starts flooding down with blood just down your face. So that's level 2 harm.
Since we have the zoomed in shot on the eye, I want to say that that's when the adrenaline kicks in from the sound of the window.
Yeah.
And like we're zoomed in on Stavril's eyes, and they just like tighten up and then like straight out the window.
So you're gonna like just turn to dive out the window? Is that the plan? Just through the
mesh.
Yeah, through the mesh, and like have all of the glass like rain down around you. That's super cool. I like that. Okay, so they have failed their attack. This is definitely to get away from them. This is gonna be a roll. Because they hesitated for a split second, but they are still firmly in control of this this situation. And I think based on these roles, I think that this is probably, is it prowl to, no, this would be skirmish, right?
For the getaway?
Yeah, for the getaway. No, it's not skirmish.
It's
gotta be prowl.
I think it's prowl.
Wow.
Because prowl is acrobatics.
Yeah, true. Climb,
Yeah.
swim, run, jump, and tumble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
If I
around.
need further convincing, I can use 2 more of my load to have climbing gear. Attach a grappling hook to the window and get rope burn as I'm sliding all the way down to the ground.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're like, this is just a split movement. You whip out this thing, hook it onto the outside of the window, and then burst through. Not even trying to slow down on the catwalk, and immediately abseil down from the catwalk. That's awesome. That's such a cool move. Yeah, I'm up for that. Mark off that climbing gear, and let's see that prowl roll. You definitely have -1 die from your level 2 harm. And that level 2 harm will call...
You're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Thank you. I was asking for what the name of the harm was.
Yeah, I think cut up. Cut up? I don't know. Can you think of a better one?
Needled?
I mean, I've literally made harm in another game that was cut the fuck up. So I feel like cut up is just more direct.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So you're good, I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Okay, cut up.
Yeah.
So yeah, you take that -1 die on this, and so that's you currently rolling with 0 dice, and this is standard risky. Actually, is it standard? Yeah, no, it's standard risky. It's standard risky.
Yeah. Push for a single die?
Yeah, okay. I mean, you're jumping through a window which is, covered in mesh and glass. So I can definitely see how that would stress you out a little bit if you're not really taking the time to not get cut up by all the glass and mesh. Yeah, go for it.
I mean, if the others are in the street downstairs, can they help at all?
They're a little bit too far away. I reckon once you land, then you'll hear this whole thing going.
Yeah.
Because this is only a couple of seconds.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure this is an anxiety thing. So Kane's realized that something's gone wrong, but this is all happening very fast, and there's no reaction from Kane or Sneaker. I've just gone, something's gone, and then that would be the moment where if you do
when you hear it,
that's when I hear it. Yeah.
I can very easily see this being able to be bumped up to desperate great if you wanted to.
I don't feel like I need that.
Okay, yeah, if you don't want to do that.
I am wondering if having a sniper, if being in the gaze of a sniper counts as an assist from Sabine.
Oh.
I mean, can I assist by providing suppressing fire?
Yeah, I think so.
Rifles, a rifle single shot.
So our
I mean, I've got my pistols too, I guess.
Yeah, our Duskwall is kind of it's sort of around about the time of World War One, so they would definitely have multiple multiple shot rifles. They're probably bolt action, so
So it just got me.
Yeah, it takes you a second. Yeah.
Cool, but I'll do suppressing fire and give you a boost if you want.
Yeah.
Sure.
So how does helping work? You take stress and you hand a die.
I take 1 stress.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
if you're getting a bonus, giving yourself a bonus, it's 2 stress. If someone else is helping you, it's 1 stress.
Mhm.
Very nice.
Okay.
it's to try and encourage
Yeah,
people
yeah.
to like help. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so yes, take a stress, and you get that extra dice. So you're rolling 2 dice, risky standard.
Oh,
Gosh, how is this happening?
How is it that how is it that like oh my god, never mind. I'm just
you escape the stabbing and just go splat.
oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
What
if
it
you
was-
do die here and you do splat, that and your corpse is near us, that actually brings up something I wanted to talk about with like Kane's ability. So I was doing a bit of research on how the people have played Whispers, and I found this cool
Sure.
thing where someone was like, the essence of someone could be really like easily picked up, especially by their corpse or presence. So even if you weren't to go straight away, I could instantly bring back your spiritual presence because your corpse is there. So I could immediately establish that connection there.
What a harrowing
so-
experience.
Harrowing experience.
Yeah.
There's also another thing where like any kind of corpse, blood, bones, etc. I can use kind of like I can extract the ectoplasm from, using it as a weapon as such. But that's not really going to be a weapon. I don't want to fight your corpse, so it's not going to be that relevant here. So if you do choose to end really gnarly somewhere near us,
Yeah.
I'm going to be fucked up, but I'm going to be able to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we see you. You spin out of the chair and take a running jump at the window, crash through the window. You get cut up by the shards of glass. Not particularly bad, but you like it's enough to make you wince, and you get caught on the railing of the catwalk, and you tumble straight over. So you've got that like the climbing gear, but you sort of just do that like unwrapping and then suddenly get caught and yanked by the climbing gear behind you.
Ooh.
And you're now so what I'm going to do is, because it's risky, I can do you suffer harm, complication occurs, you have reduced effect, you end up in a desperate position. What I'm going to do is pop you in a desperate position, and I am going to give you minor harm, only level 1. I'm going to say that you're winded from having the wind knocked out of your lungs by the yanking of the rope, and the desperate position that you're now in. You're hanging. The climbing gear wasn't long enough, right? Like you misjudged.
Oh.
You're now hanging from this over the top of the grinding gears of the metal press beneath, which still has one of those like plates of hull jammed in it from when Sabine knocked over the cart, and it is like grinding between 2 gears and vibrating to like at a speed and at an angle that were you to fall directly on it would just divide you. So you're in a really compromised position here. So you're at super desperate position, but you are still alive, and you've only taken a 1 harm from that. Let's see what everyone else is doing. So, outside, you folks definitely hear this crashing noise. You hear the gunshots. There's 2 gunshots that go off upstairs. What do you do?
Well, I imagine Kane is gonna open by freaking out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, do we have sights on them right now?
You can't see this, no. You're sort of like around the corner.
I feel this. I god fucking damn feel this. I feel this exactly.
Oh yeah, you definitely feel it. So
I think Kane feels it before we even hear anything.
if
yeah. I'm just trying to sit here and going, fuck! And you've just gone, what? What's going on? And before you even realize what I'm doing, I'm running towards the building to the spot where I can feel the presence is like most significant. And I'm running the whole time thinking, please don't be dead, please don't be dead, please don't be dead, please don't be dead. Because I'm assuming the worst right now. Because I can, like, this kind of energy, the stress and fear, I've only ever felt when someone's about to die.
Right, okay.
I'm feeling it at them right now. I am literally bolting towards the building, trying to see if there's anything I can do to prevent this. Knowing full well this back of this dread in my mind is making my fucking sweat go down my back, I am freaking out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you got that right. Kane is not in a good position right now. But they are making their way to the
following.
building to see what's going on and to hopefully prevent whatever's happening.
Okay.
I don't think they'll get there in time, potentially before this next desperate roll.
Well, I just quickly, if you look at the if you look at the Coleridge map in roll 20, I've just like marked up on I will ping on the sheet where it is. So just over here, and you should be able to see some drawing on it. This is the X is the actual factory, and the blue was where you folks were. So like just around the corner, in a little alleyway here, and the magenta dot over here is where Sabine is camping out. So I don't think you're very far away. I think like it's just a matter of sort of running around, and then the entrance to this place is probably like just like sort of here. That's where you've come in. So it doesn't take long for you to sprint around the side.
Okay. I'm just gonna quickly consult my gear for a sec. Are you going to follow me, Seneca?
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually
so you've just kind of seen me bolt off.
Yeah, I'm following, thinking like, what the hell are you freaking out about? Like everything's going, and then like I get in just soon enough to see whatever you see and go.
Yeah, because you would start moving, Kane, as soon as soon as the first gunshot happens and Stavros starts freaking out, right? Like when that adrenaline rush hits.
Yeah, that's
when
where I
move.
felt it.
Yeah.
And that's the immediate this fear is death fear, and I know the difference very distinctly. I deal with ghosts. What I feel before they're ghosts. So I've made my way to that position. So could we say that I'm there when we see Savril hanging off?
I think you folks like get around the side as Sabine has a chance to act. So what are you going to do, Sabine? You've just seen Savril dive out. What's the plan?
Yeah, cool. So Stavril's now out of sight from where I am.
Yes, you can no longer see Stavril. As far as you're aware, they very ungracefully tumbled over the side of the catwalk, and then they went out of your line of sight.
What's the response of the Jubilant?
So they are sort of. They're very surprised, and they had to duck out of the road from your gunshot. But as soon as their head comes back up, they can see the torn open window where Stavril dove out, and they're going to rush over to the window to try and see where Stavril went.
Sure. What I would like to do as soon as I see their head poke out is I have the special ability Sharpshooter.
Okay.
I can push myself to make a ranged attack at extreme distance, or unleash a barrage of rapid fire to suppress the enemy.
Okay.
I would like to unleash a barrage of rapid fire, to stop them from getting out from behind this thing and make sure that they stay down there while.
Yeah.
Presumably while my buddies help Stavril.
So.
Who, as far as I guess, I'm assuming Stavril got to the ground okay.
Yeah, and that's how you would assume, right? Like they're pretty competent. They're supposed to be, at least. Okay, cool. So unleash your barrage of rapid fire.
Cool. So the item I'm using is my fine long rifle. And I'm pushing myself to do this.
Okay.
Is this a hunt? Skirmish? Or what's the...
Yeah.
What's the... Or does it just happen?
So it just happens. If you push yourself, it just happens. But I will let you rope into this an actual hunt to see if you can hit them.
Okay. Sure.
So because you're doing suppressing fire, it's going to have limited effect.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't want to actually kill them anyway. That would be bad.
Please don't kill
But
them.
I don't mind hitting them in their very pretty shoulder or whatever.
Sure.
Cool.
I
So
think
it's
this is
limited even
controlled.
with a fine rifle?
It is a fine rifle. Fine means that it stages up, and so that means that it's really only quality 1.
Okay, fair enough. That's
But-
fine.
but
And
I mean-
this person's like,
To be fair, they're just skin and bones, right? Like if you hit them with your fine rifle, you're going to tear through them. So I would say it's standard controlled here because they don't really have a chance to act against you, and there hasn't been enough time for this to raise the alarm properly.
yeah, sure. Okay,
Please
cool.
don't hurt them too badly. Please don't hurt them too badly.
Alrighty, let's see.
So you took that
have
2
no
stress,
idea.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Please let the good luck continue for your roll. Please.
Yeah, come
please.
on. Crit.
Another
Oh,
6. It's not a
yes,
crit, but it's
jeez.
still a 6.
This is
Nice.
ridiculous. What the hell?
I've rolled a 6 in every roll I've made this game.
Okay.
That's unreal.
So what that means, we see them. You start just like unloading fire through the window, and they have to get back behind cover. And there's a moment when we see them like stick their face out for a moment and part of their shoulder to see if they can like draw a bead on you, so that they know where that firing's coming from, because they don't necessarily know it's you, right? Like this whole thing, they don't really know what's happening anymore.
Yeah,
they thought they were in
think
control.
Miller, like-
And now there's a sniper firing at them. And when they poke their head out and their shoulder comes out, a bullet like tears into their right shoulder, and they go sprawling behind the desk,
Cool.
out of sight. But you definitely maintain this fire long enough that they do not pop their head up for the next while if they're still conscious. You don't know. All right, downstairs, Stavros is hanging from this cord, just winded, probably a little bit unsensible, covered in blood, pouring blood out of their forehead into the machine beneath them. So it's quite an evocative industrial metal
Yes.
scene here. I'm loving it.
Okay. I have a couple of questions. So there's nothing we've really done to define ghosts thus far.
Yep.
And I'd kind of be interested in, for those of you who have played Blades in the Dark before, how you've kind of treated ghosts, whether you've treated them kind of like poltergeists or able to be like possessive, vengeful spirits, etc. Because I had an idea here that might be able to not cause death, but serious harm.
Sure.
Which would be kind of up to you guys whether you find it cool if I did this with Kane or not.
Okay.
I haven't played like Blades in Doskvol, like actually in the core Blade setting before, so
Yeah.
But like I mean, my understanding is that ghosts can be super dangerous at times, or is that just when they possess people? So like I think they can definitely interact at times with the physical world.
Yeah, I think so too.
Also, there is intentionally, and it's even stated in the book, that there is very little lore about ghosts. So, and furthermore, in things like rituals, it's stated that magic is very bizarre, unpredictable, and weird.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I want to hear your idea. I'm not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I'd like Kane to kind of go into the state of like hyper panic. The first thing that of course Kane thinks is like, I need to intervene. I need to magically intervene. Because if this is the one thing that Kane can do, this is the one thing that Kane can do well, generally. I thought it would be kind of interesting to maybe have Kane kind of like, because he's got his like kit of arcane stuff, to kind of pull out his stone, his summoning stone, and to kind of summon a spirit to possess the machine that's underneath it to try and get it to stop. Because if it stops and you were to fall, you'd take serious damage. I'm not sure if you'd survive, but you definitely would be crushed and just kind of to pieces.
So
I'm feeling that. I don't know what anyone else feels.
It's pretty cool.
I'm all
It's pretty
about
cool.
one of my favorite things about Blades in the Dark ghosts is how they are intrinsically tied to electricity, and how like I like the idea of them being able to flow down like power lines and things like that, and possess anything that is powered by Leviathan oil.
Yeah.
They can get involved. So I am
Yeah.
100% on board with you.
I love
Putting
as
a
I say, I
ghost
love
in
this
it.
idea
Yeah.
because Kane often has he has a good relationship often with like things that normally terrify people, and I have this lovely idea where like Kane is terrified and madly fixated with trying to get this to work, and the ghosts kind of respect that, almost as if to say that this is kind of like a Kane we've never seen before, and
Yeah.
we want to try and get in this, whether it's to fuck me over. Or it's to help me out, get to the role to be desired. But I really want that to kind of come through Kane in this particular moment.
Yeah, sure
The
thing.
ghosts are like, yeah, Kane! Woo!
Yeah, Kane!
Go, son!
They're like, have a spine, have a spine. So I think that's really interesting. And if look honestly, Kane's messing with stuff that's way often beyond like their level at this point. And so this could backfire, and they could be finally like, well, this is one chance to just fuck over Kane just because it would be funny.
Yeah.
And so this is an opportunity for them to do that if the role goes badly.
Okay. So I think that this is a tune. Are you...
A tune. I am absolutely thinking this is a tune. This is my best tune.
Cool.
I think that's also just channeling the spirits and the spiritual energy here. So I think that's a tune.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the... you've got all of your tools on you, these sort of
My
like
tools, yes.
arcane implements.
I've
So
got my spirit anchor with my stone. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A spirit anchor in the form of small stone. Cool. So I think that this is something you know how to do, right? But you're acting probably, definitely impulsively, right? Okay. Let's
I could be potentially biting off more than I can chew because I'm so desperate.
Yeah.
I'm so like obviously, if this was more calm or panicked, I'd be a lot under more control and have a lot more attuned with these ghosts. This is a situation where I'm like, they're gonna die, and I might be biting off, more I can chew because I want to make sure that nothing goes wrong.
Okay.
And that I can save them.
So
Which of course is setting myself up really.
what does this look like, or what does it mean for Kane to summon a ghost?
Okay, I was kind of thinking. I did mention the necklace that I had previously.
Yeah.
That would obviously start like lighting up and shaking, mean that I've like established the connection. I was still kind of thinking, like very ominously, feeling from a cinematography point of perspective. When we're kind of coming into Kane, kind of like standing there, it's very ritualistic. I go very, very still. My arms are like sort of extended, kind of like palms out like this, and like there's all this like kind of like fog kind of like creeping in around me, kind of like suddenly if everything just went a lot colder in the presence of everyone around them, because I'm focusing a lot of spiritual energy to this point, everything's just gone way more colder than we'd expect. There's like this fog on the ground. Sort of I like my eyes to kind of sparkle. I don't want them to like sort of change, like go like completely white, but they're sparkling. Like, so I've established that connection, and the necklace is kind of like bounding off my like neck area there. And I'm not saying anything. So I'm standing completely still, but you get the sense, anyone that's watching me gets the sense that there's like lots of sound, like little like whispers emanating from the area. And it's like I'm doing that communing in my head.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So is the sparkling that we see like around Kane's eyes, is that from like little like icicles forming like in the gaps of your eyes, like because the air's freezing? Or
I like that. I like that a lot.
Sweet.
I was kind of mainly doing it for aesthetics, but I think that's even better.
Yeah. Cool. You're terrifying. I love it.
This is the Kane that everyone was waiting to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scared spineless Kane is now suddenly like hyper focused. Again, that iron will, that attentive tune for the spirits.
Okay.
This is the Kane that is the actual most terrifying part about Kane.
So I think that this is risky standard. I can so easily see this being bumped up to desperate, great if you wanted to do that trade-off. But as it stands, risky standard.
Is there anything I could do here to gain an extra die? I'm not the best at understanding the mechanics just yet.
So you can push yourself. You take 2 stress, and you gain an extra die. Or I can offer you a devil's bargain, or anyone can offer you a devil's bargain. If someone can think of a good devil's bargain here, please feel free to pitch it.
Is one of the ghosts... So you're, like, calling on the ghosts to help you here?
Mm-hmm.
Is it, like, maybe a ghost that's got, like, gonna expect you to owe a favor?
Oh my god, what if it's Nyrex?
Yeah, I mean, like, what if it's like someone you know and it's weird and awkward?
Okay,
What
I'm
if
happy
it's
for it to be
Nyrex,
Nyrex.
who's actually been keeping an eye on the situation, curious past when Seneca was operating it, and he's just been kind of like sort of lingering around, seeing the situation unfold and go, this is interesting.
So you're
So
like...
Nyrex
Sorry, go on.
Is Nyrex the person who, like, taught Seneca all the stuff in the...
Yeah, they're the one that's
Or is that-
possessing the person that taught, Seneca all the stuff.
Nyrex is
Wait,
a
that
possessor
person's
ghost.
a ghost?
Yeah, Nyrex is a possessor ghost.
It's a ghost in that person that was teaching.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I totally
that's-
missed that
Wait,
bit.
Yeah, hence why, and that's the interesting dynamic was that Seneca was like really into it, and Kane's sitting there like, I'm not doing this. Fuck this.
Yeah.
And that's why I never learned how to be kind of like a little bit more sexy.
Does
I realized they were involved.
Does Seneca know? Does Seneca know if that Nyrex is a possessor ghost?
Nope. I think it's better if they don't.
Okay.
But I'm gonna change my mind.
Yeah.
Wait. What?
You don't know this?
I am going to have okay, if this is what we're doing, I am going to have so many questions at a later point.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
If we bring them into a devil's bargain somehow, this would be very interesting.
Well,
for you.
yeah, I
This would
can
explain so much.
I can see
So
that. So you're trying to call in a ghost, and Nyrex, who is nearby, sees what you're doing and decides to intervene and like push their ghost out of the body that they're possessing.
Yeah.
And like takes over what you're doing, right? Like pushes themselves into the machine. Yeah, I'm about that. That sounds cool to me.
I think this would be pretty interesting. I think what Nyrex has to gain from this was like this kind of like, so are you going to like turn a blind eye to me now? I've just helped you do something. If this goes well, this could provide like a really complicated relationship that Kane has with Nyrex as well.
Because Nyrex doesn't like Nyrex is angry at you, but Nyrex seems to want your attention. We know this. Like Nyrex is desperate for you to focus on them. So I think that that's perfect. I think that this is an instance where Nyrex can be like, I've already helped you. I'm already doing what you need. You can't even tell that you need me, sort of thing. I love it. I
like that. And there is complicated because Kane has very complex ethics on ghosts and stuff. It's just like Nyrex is like, I demand that you see me. I demand that you like this is, you know, if you keep doing this to me, you know, I've just saved you. I'm going to put you in a bad situation next, and this is not going to work out well for you.
Take it away. Give me that roll with the bonus.
So, okay, like walk me through how to do the rolls again.
Okay, so you want to click on your attune, and then you want to give yourself it's risky, and then standard.
One last idea.
Standard, yeah.
I have one last idea that I would like to throw in before we start clicking buttons.
Sure.
Since we are Dagger Islanders and we are familially related, do we have arcane implements that are attuned to each other that make ghosts able to travel from one like spirit anchor to another? Like, can your spirit anchor take Nyrex in and then have Nyrex suddenly appear to my spirit anchor so that we can do this faster?
That's a good question. I was thinking about that, like when I was deciding what I wanted to do here. I was thinking about whether our connection was stronger, and that like I could at one point get a ghost to possess you and back to me again, so that I could do actions towards you. I didn't think that would be anything I could contribute while you were hanging there to get a spirit to do that would be useful. Hence why I went for the machine itself.
Yeah.
So,
but like, I think the idea here is that Nyrix would use Stavril as like an intermediary to get there faster, to get into the machine from a closer vantage point. Yeah.
So it'd be like an assist almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's definitely something that would be good, I think.
If
that would make sense.
Yeah. Stavril, if you take arcane implements, if you mark that off on your sheet as being part of your load, I will totally allow that assist. Does that mean that you trauma out?
It does.
Alrighty. Okay. Are you still happy to do it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you're dead or you're trauma out, so let's do it.
Sweet. Okay, so...
Okay, so we go back to attune.
Yep. And you've now got 2 bonus dice.
Alright, standard. So bonus dice is 2.
And give us the roll. Alright, it's a success. It is a success.
But it's not a perfect success.
So I think what we see here is so we see like you're trying to conjure up this ghost, and the ghost that like immediately comes to the fore is this shred of a worker who was mangled in this machine. They were mangled in the machine, and they were killed by the machine. And there are still like little scraps of bone and blood from them, long since dried and long since fossilized, like inside and underneath the machine. So that's the thing that's waking up here, that you're coaxing back to life. The majority of the ghost has been expunged. Like it was destroyed a long time ago by spirit wardens who came through here and swept the area and eradicated the ghost. But they're little lingering scraps of life, specifically the bits that were directly destroyed and minced by the machine. So all of that anger and pain that was trapped in their like split second before they died and were torn apart. That's still here. But Nyrix slips in, burns into the like jumps between the summoning stones that both you and Stavril hold. That channeling, like coursing energy through Stavril, like we see the arcs of lightning hit up and like mingle in with the blood that's freely flowing down Stavril's face, and knocks them out cold, and depletes your last point of stress, and then courses out this sort of like ball of lightning, hits into the machine, and everything goes still for a second. And the plate, the hull plate jams and falls off to the side, so Stavril can now be safely brought down, and not just going to fall and get cut in half. But
that's good.
The consequence that happens here, the underlying machinery of this place, like all of the broken bits of cogs and stuff inside, starts clattering around and is awoken by that now loose shred of a ghost that you were initially coaxing awake. Nyrix didn't get in quick enough. You were actually pulling something awaken, and your spell has been unraveled, and now it is loose. So you succeeded, and now's a ghost who is not happy with this situation. Yeah, a pissed off shred of a ghost who is now rattling around inside here. What are you doing whilst all of this is happening, Sinica?
Seduce the ghost.
So,
Please,
to clarify, in this moment, I really just don't know what's going on. I know that a ghost has been summoned and that's it.
Okay. Are you clarifying what Seneca knows, or are you clarifying...
What Seneca knows.
Yes. Seneca has seen, maybe not even that a ghost has been summoned, but that a ball of lightning erupted out of nowhere, back, like, further on the street, zipped towards Kane, and then jumped instantaneously between Kane and Stavril, and then Stavril went limp, and the ball smashed into the machine, and then the machine stopped moving, and then lots of other things started moving and flying around at the base of this big factory churning machine thing, which is now still. That's what you see.
Right. So, Stavril is still hanging.
Yes.
Because I feel like the move here then is just like shoot Stavril down and then leave. Like just grab and go.
You can fire at the cord, like the rope that's currently holding Stavril up, definitely.
Which I think is essentially what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Just to clarify, by the way, what's her name again? Melissa. Where's she?
She is, or they are under fire, hiding inside the foreman's office still. Yeah, there's still that covering fire. It's only been a matter of seconds, right? Like, since they got shot, they're still gone to ground.
So while all this has been going on, there's been like repeated gunshots going on above
just
your
like
heads.
bang, bang, bang. Yeah, absolutely.
And like, I think, okay, can I say that, like, because this is a fine rifle, and it's like probably a rifle that Sabine has had for a long time, and was like either altered or custom made or whatever in Skovlan or whatever. It's like the way it's rifled, it makes like a slight like whistling sound, like those
like the
vortex
howlers.
balls
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Like, so like it's not just a bang, it's like a bang. Like,
I like it.
That whistling kind
What
of
all
sound.
that sort of creepy elements going on, like fucking.
Oh yeah, there's these squealing noises overhead, and this like
we just came here to sell smut, you know.
You did, and it's utterly devolved into this like awful ghost-ridden hell zone. I love it. Okay, so
there is, as I say, I don't know if Seneca has like decided to do anything. At this point, like upon realizing that I have like summoned this really angry, like terrified, like straps of ghosts who probably want to do something very violent. I definitely want to try and reason them out of it. Just because one, I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
I take any kind of resistance to that terror naturally through my abilities. And three, I really want to make sure that like nothing that like there's not going to be bits of machine fly at us as we try to escape from them being angry.
Sure. Okay. So what I think that translates to is, for Seneca, I don't think shooting is necessarily a test. Like I can't really see why that needs to be a roll. I think you can just fire. I think what needs to be the roll from you is getting through the like flying bits of machinery down here and catching Stavril before they fall into this sort of like swirling beginnings of a tornado of little bits of metal and cogs and stuff.
Yeah.
Does that sound fair to you, Seneca?
Because like what I had in mind was that I would fire the shot and then Kane would just like be positioned just right to catch Stavril and we just run.
I'm definitely not in any position to catch anyone. I'm still very much in my ritualistic stance.
Yeah.
Because this community hasn't stopped. Like I'm still very much in danger as well at this point.
Yeah.
Because if this machine part deciding flying, I've got to somehow protect myself from that using my tools, but also have the conscience to keep this ghost under control.
Yeah.
So, and there's like no way I can physically touch or rescue Stavril at this point. If you do manage to get out and get away, the next step is getting myself out of there, which is a whole other problem in
Yeah.
itself, I think.
Shit.
Yeah, it's not a good situation.
Can
I
Kane
slightly
see, though?
regret trying to rescue you.
Can Kane see though? Does Kane know that shit's going down in the mortal
Oh, absolutely.
world?
Yeah. So Kane's not like blind or anything, like physically blind. They can see things that are happening. They just can't move from their spot. If they move from their spot at any point, I would imagine that the connection snaps and things are going to get a hell of a lot worse. Because at this point, the terror, the little fragments of the ghost are boiling. I'm at this point going to try and intervene to try and stop that. I'm keeping it vaguely under control. I'm good at what I do, right? But if I want to like subdue it, I'm assuming that's going to have to be a roll. But at any point, if I break that connection, things are going to go like a hell of a lot worse. Like it's going to be bad in any case, because this is what I've brought onto. I brought the supernatural entities into this space. And that never goes well, even when it goes well.
Yeah.
In this situation, you can't rely on me to catch. Yeah.
So you'll keep doing that thing.
Yes.
I am going to fire one shot at the cord. Just to be sure. If I don't decide immediately to run and catch Stavro after that shot is fired, where does he land? Does he land in the middle of the still raging?
They will land on the placid piece of hull, roll down, and flop onto the floor, and in that spot will start getting hit by all of the flying poltergeisty shards of metal, and so they will be safely out of the air and then in peril on the ground. And an unconscious person is a much more dangerous target for a ghost than a conscious, willful-brained person. So that could be much worse.
So before you continue, I'm just thinking Nyrex is still very much here.
Yeah.
And I would like to at some point, if we get a chance to potentially do this, but maybe have Nyrex actually try and possess Stavro.
Okay.
Well,
let's
really fuck over Kane, but let's see what.
let's see.
First.
Let's see Seneca's move.
Yeah.
Right. So first, I'm gonna fire the shot, and then I'm gonna see how close I can get to catch them.
Okay.
So I start with what is that?
I think the shot is just for free. I think you can just shoot.
Okay.
And so we see that shot go off, and then you rush forward. And I think again you can catch Stavril, but the role here will be a resistance to resist yourself getting cut up by the furious ghost underneath here.
Shit, can I take stress? I think I can take a little stress.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble for you, but as long as you don't roll 1, you should be fine, right?
So what am I rolling?
I think that this is a prowess resist.
Aha.
Or you can just take the harm if you don't want to resist.
I think I resist.
Okay. Okay.
I do think I push myself to resist. So I click prowess. Bonus dice 1.
Can you push yourself on resistance? Because that doesn't make too much sense in my mind.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works. I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to click, in fact.
Yeah, so I don't think you can push yourself for resistance. Because it would just be giving you more stress to take away fewer stress points, right?
Fair.
So I think it's just a flat prowess roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking nervous.
Same here.
This really devolved quick.
Is this what I roll?
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh my...
Oh my god.
Well, okay.
This is not good.
So Seneca takes 5 stress, and trauma's out. So,
Welcome.
yeah. So, what does this look like? So Seneca charges in and grabs hold. Okay, I know what this looks like. Seneca charges in and grabs hold of Stavril. And as Stavril gets pulled up, and like back on the feet, the cloud of like the ghost that's whipping around on the ground doesn't manage to get into you, because what happens instead, Nyrix shoves themselves into the mind of Seneca, and wraps Seneca up in this like comforting embrace, pushes them to the side, and Seneca just blacks out, protected and enshrouded by Nyrix's comforting embrace, ghostly, tendrily comforting embrace.
Oh.
What does that feel? What?
You tell me. What does it
I
feel
have so
like
many questions.
to have someone else push
Like-
themselves in?
First, like, is there like any emotional or like a sensual thing about that even like gives me the slightest inkling that I know who or what this spirit is?
I think you've spent a lot of time with Nyrix, right? Like you are both quite intimate with each other, right? Like, because Nyrix is your vice purveyor. So I think Nyrix pushes themselves into your mind, and you feel that familiarity. You feel that connection. You know who this is, and you don't know that that Nyrix is a ghost, right? So you know that, but you now have an inkling, and I think there's also Nyrix impresses upon you that that this is for your protection, that they're doing this not necessarily out of love, but out of fear for your safety.
Okay.
Okay. So we've got
Fucking Kane,
we've
dude.
got 2 unconscious party members, and we've got Sabine across. You're probably like, your clip is now empty, Sabine. You've got to reload, but you can't see anyone else. Like there's no one in your line of view. You can't see like even when there's the you stop firing. There's no one popping their head up. The Jubilant is gone. They're out of eyesight. What do? You are muted.
Muted. You're still muted.
Actually muted. Not cool.
I'm gonna have to decamp and like try and find my buddies. Like head down to street level and like head over to where I last had some sense of them being, because I saw Stavral jumping through the window.
Okay. So
So I'm assuming that as much as possible at the moment, the Jubilant is dealt with. So I'm gonna head in the same direction as my friends. I assume everything is fine and we're just regrouping.
okay, yeah. So you're climbing down from your sniper's roost and going to regroup. What are you gonna do, Kane?
Okay,
yeah.
I think at this point I've definitely noticed Nyrix get into Seneca.
Yeah, you don't necessarily know that Nyrix has, but you see the machine that Nyrix was possessing flare back into life, and you see Seneca's like entire bearing change. And you've seen people get possessed before, and it looks like this. And you know that the other ghost is still whipping around, so it wouldn't take much of a leap of logic for you to come to the conclusion that Nyrix has done this.
Yeah. God, I'm like trying my best at this point, because I know that, like, in my head I've already gone through, like, if this possess a ghost, I don't know if I know if it's Nyrix at this point yet. I haven't quite established that. Has possessed Seneca, and as much as that irritates me, my priority is not letting us die from this ghost. And I can deal, and I know that even though I feel intense hatred right now, and the first thing I want to do is get over to Seneca's body and rip this ghost out of them very, very violently. I know that I have to just concentrate on getting this machine under control. Otherwise, no one gets out of here alive.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to try and subdue this machine. So what subduing looks like is interesting, because I'm talking to them, but you guys obviously can't hear what's going on. This is a community between, this is a spiritual thing, and you guys can't hear it. But I'm essentially trying to tell the machine, it's okay. I've just spared this other person from the same fate. This is fine. You will move on. Let this terror, let this terror rise forth. Just move on. And I'm resisting their anger because I know I can do that. Very well.
Okay. I think that that's a good. I think that it is a resistance here. Like it's a late resistance on the consequence that's happening here, but I do think that this counts as you resisting that consequence. Because I think that this is something you can do, right? You being a ghost counselor is totally like something that you can do, especially because this is just a shred of a ghost, right? This isn't even a consciousness. It's just a split second of fear and intense pain. Yeah.
And I know this. I'm familiar with this sense of emotion from a ghost, and I feel like I just need to get this under control. This is something I can do, but if I don't do this, and if I use my energy to turn around to this possessor ghost, things are going to go sour. So I need to focus on this first.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a resist roll. And I think that's resolve. Absolutely. Oh, is that resolve or is that insight? How are you? Sorry?
What's the consequence?
It's trying to so the consequence is this angry shred of a ghost, and the way that you're addressing that is by trying to calm it down, right? Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like having an intense understanding of this pain, of this kind of like ghost thing, and trying to almost kind of work out how the best way to kind of like get them off this. So I don't know if it's kind of insight or resolve. I'd like to say it's resolve.
Yeah, I think it is too.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. You're using your own calmness. All right, let's see that resistance roll.
Okay. So from here I click. So on this one, do I click resolve?
Yeah, you click the resolve itself.
Resolve. No bonus die. Oh no! Wait. Yes, I do get a bonus die. So on resistant rolls, when I'm kind of like resisting the terror of it, I get 1 die to resistance roll to resolve. So yes, I do take a bonus die.
Yeah, I think so, because you've got a calm head in this instance. You're collected. Cool.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So you
take 3 stress. Yeah, you take 3 stress. You're clean on the stress track though, so you can definitely afford that. So yeah, you take 3 stress.
3 stress.
And I think that's the end of the score. Like you're able to, everyone's able to get back. Nyrix carries with an inhuman strength pulsing through Seneca's veins, carries Stavral back to the lair, and immediately, as soon as they can, tears themselves out of Seneca's body. Like, doesn't stay in there for a second longer, to the point where, like, we probably see Seneca put Stavral down on one of your, like, trashy beanbag chairs that are left in your lair, and then as they're doing that, putting Seneca's body in such a shape that they will also fall onto one of these beanbags, and immediately tears themselves out and goes.
Yeah.
Like, there's no word. You gather that...
And I can't even do anything. Yeah, I'm like at this point where like I'm kind of just like, don't you? And then like I've kind of realized that there's intention to rip, and they're just gone, and there's nothing I can do about it.
You get a sense of shame as well. Like, that's not what they wanted to do. They fucked up here, right? Like, they did the right thing by saving Seneca and by therefore saving Stavral, but they didn't want to push in and violate Seneca's mind in that way, right? Like, and definitely not in front of you, right? Like, they've really...
Who is already... just like, do not do this. This is not okay.
So we've got those two unconscious, Sabine and Kane back in the lair.
Yeah.
And I think, if you want to do like a last just shot there, we can. Otherwise, we can skip over to ending a score and going through all of the entanglements and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
As I say, I don't know. I'm definitely, I think at this point, once the ghost leaves the body, I'm kind of like, when I do channel the kind of like spiritual energy and stuff, I tend to kind of take on those emotions quite viscerally afterwards.
Sure.
So I've kind of seen that anger and terror, and but I've communed with that. So afterwards, there's a shot of me, and I've got sweat beads kind of all up my arms and down my neck, and I'm kind of just gripping the edges of this chair really violently with my head down, kind of trying to keep this anger under control and let it subside eventually through me. So I'm not doing very okay right now.
Okay.
And I definitely need some time to just get it out.
All right, I like it.
I think from, like, I don't know, from Sabine's perspective, we almost get like a replay of that scene in the first one where Seneca and Kane were like, were nattering on, and Sabine was kind of like standing there like a bit on the outside, and then made eye contact with Stavral, and they like grabbed their coats and went outside to go drinking, except this time like Stavral's super unconscious, and so Sabine just like is kind of like standing there at a distance and like looks to where Stavral would have been, grabs a coat and like goes outside.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I think we will do the payoff and we will do heat, but we will save entanglements for the beginning of next session.
Okay.
And so we'll do payoff, heat, and then we'll go through the normal cadence of XP. All right, so let's look at payoff. After a score, the PCs take stock of their income from the operation. A successful score generates both rep and coin. So the crew earns 2 rep per score by default. So does someone want to grab the crew sheet and be the...
Can do.
Cool. Awesome.
The clicker of buttons.
The clicker of buttons. So you get 2 rep, but for the score by default. If the score is higher tier than you, take +1 rep per tier higher. So I'm open to arbitrate this with you folks. The score was against someone who wasn't necessarily that much higher. They were, I think they're tier 2. So you would normally get 2, but the majority of that score was spent fighting off your poor engagement roll, right? Like you got the 1 on the engagement roll last time. So how do you want to arbitrate this? Do you want to count it as being you did a score against a tier 2 person or a tier 4?
I mean, I think the people that we ultimately like disadvantaged and like acted against the interests of was probably the church.
Yeah, it was the tier 4.
Does everyone agree?
I mean, we did ultimately shoot one of their people on the
Yeah,
shoulder.
you definitely did. Yeah.
So,
That's true.
I mean, we've gone from seducing the tier 2 person to being seduced to the tier 4 person being shot on the shoulder. So I think it's entirely fair that if we were going to contend score here, we'd take the tier 4. Whether or not we compromise and just do a 3 to compensate, or we just go 4 is fine. I don't think it's definitely just worth just 2, but
Yeah.
I'm happy with 3 or 4.
Okay. I think 3 is a good compromise.
Yeah.
Because it was definitely worth more street cred than just going after this factory, right? Like, you are gaining notoriety. You shot a jubilant of the cult of the ecstasy of the flesh.
Yeah.
That's gonna get around, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think plus 3 more rep. And then if you keep the operation completely quiet, no one knows about it, you earn 0 rep. You did not keep it quiet. So the crew earns coin based on the nature of the operation and or any loot they seized. Now, you were specifically giving away these papers for free. So I don't think you earned any coin.
We weren't, in this situation, and we knew we weren't going to see coin here.
Unless we get some like donations from our like now dedicated fans. Or something. But like I'm also getting nothing.
Yeah.
But like I did roll pretty well that time.
You definitely earned buyers, right? There are now people who will definitely buy your product. More people than you had.
And that, do you think that dedicated buyer base will come in later, just not now?
Well, what were you just going to say, Lavender?
I was asking, do we get a claim from having a base of customers now?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Is that how claims? I thought we had to like kind of like do a mission to. I guess we did do a mission to take it from another faction.
Exactly.
I think you've got. I think so instead of you getting any coin from that, I think you got one of those turf pieces. You can tick off either side of the turf. From Lair, you can gain one of that turf.
Awesome.
And therefore you get
turf makes sense.
Yeah. Because the other ones is a surplus cash, which doesn't make sense, and a local graft, which also does not make any sense.
They're both good. I would like maybe say towards the left-hand side because I feel like Vice-Stan and Foreign Market are both like very much in keeping with our like kind of shtick. But
I like the informants though on the right-hand side.
Yeah, so are lookouts and informants.
Informants, cover identities would be pretty useful as undercover journalists. Lookouts also to keep an eye on things. I think while they're both kind of valid, but I do think we have more to work with on the right side.
All right, cool. Let's do that.
Is everyone in
if everyone disagrees?
Yeah.
I'm good with either. So
Brandon?
sounds good.
How are you thinking on that one? You are silent.
Oh no!
Yeah, it had to happen. It had to happen.
Things were going too well.
Yeah. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. We can.
Please. I definitely strongly believe that we should be on the right.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Okay,
so we've got that, and make sure you mark off a turf up in the rep turf track.
Oh, yeah.
Because it makes it easier.
Oh,
goodness. Do you have to tick? How does that work? Do you tick? Yeah. Okay. So you tick the top one. So I've done it for you.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's our rep and our coin. Do you need to?
We had 0 rep before this, didn't we?
Yeah. So you've gained 5. Yeah. I don't think you need to pay anyone for this. I don't think you need to. There's no cut that's being taken, at least not for this job. So let's see for the heat. So this is going to be quite a bit. So you take heat, just for folks who haven't played before, you take heat when you do bad things and it can eventually accumulate into wanted in the same way that stress can go into trauma. And the more heat and the more wanted you have, the worse your fallout. What's it called? Your entanglements during downtime are.
Right.
So more people are abuzz because of the nonsense you've gotten up to.
Right.
So the levels that you can get from here are 0 heat for a smooth and quiet low exposure operation, 2 heat for a contained standard exposure, 4 heat for a loud and chaotic high exposure, and 6 heat for a wild devastating exposure. Now, I would have given you 6 heat if you had have left the ghost there, or actually murdered the jubilant, but because you just shot a jubilant and you managed to get the ghost under control, I think that this is 4. It's loud and chaotic, high exposure.
Yeah.
People know about this.
There was a lot of gunfire.
There was a lot of gunfire. There would be blue coats on the scene in pretty short order, and you just got away, right? Like, this is bad. This is bad news. So you've got 4.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you add +1 heat for a high profile or well-connected target.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you get that +1 heat, so that's up to
Yeah.
5. And you take another one if it's on hostile turf. This is hostile turf because this was you were doing it in the foreman in the taskmaster's space, right? So I think that this counts as hostile. You add +1 if you're at war with another faction. You are not yet at war with the bosses, but I think you might be after this. We need to assess the factions again after this happening.
Yeah.
Killing was not involved, so you do not get that extra +2. So
Yeah, that was very deliberate.
yeah, so there's only six heat that you generated from that. So let's quickly go over the factions then. Let's see how this has affected the faction space. Now, so I think, well, I know that the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh is pissed. Not only did you act against them, but you hurt one of their higher ups. So I think you are now on -2 for them. If no one disagrees with that.
No, I think that's fair.
Not at all. I think it's perfect.
And where is there actually a faction for?
I was just thinking of this, and no, I don't think there is.
Okay, so let's
There's not.
Should write it in. Though,
let's
if you
add
need
an institution. And what are they called? It's like Dunville Mining Co. I think it's called. Let's just zoom out
that
for a
makes
second.
sense.
Yeah, Dunville. Yeah, let's just call it the Dunville Company. The Dunville Company. So they are tier 2. We have discussed for now at least, and they definitely have a strong hold. And do you reckon -1 or -2 here?
I mean, how much did they actually find out about, like, who we were? I feel like, in terms of, it makes more sense for the church to, like, have taken a really big hit with us, but
Yeah.
we, in terms of our interactions with those guys, I think we kept it pretty, like, we kept them, like, at the end they were confused.
Yeah,
They weren't like, we hate you guys.
I think they don't have enough time to deal with what you necessarily did, right? Like they're spending more of their time on not having ghosts and like fixing the machine and stuff. So they're angry, but they don't necessarily know who they're angry at. Okay.
Also, what we do is it's not like on the same level as direct sabotage.
Yeah.
We just took an action that got a machine to stop working, and now
And now we're just
But
like, okay, so
They also don't know that.
Yeah, they don't know that you did that, right? They there might be a little bit of an investigation now that there was all of this shit that went down, and someone orders the foreman to like look into the whole thing, and they might open one of the bits of smut and see this newspaper clipping. But like it's a leap of logic for them to be like they were the ones who summoned a ghost and all of the, so I don't think they're quite there yet. But they know that someone's agitating. Yeah. Okay. Do you get a +1 with anyone?
What about is it the Lost?
So the Lost are the bosses in this area. They're the ones who own this place.
Were we like, because they're the ones who we like have an agreement with,
Yeah.
Do they? I mean, we weren't. It's not like we were doing a job for them. Like,
no,
we were just doing our own thing. So.
Yeah, I don't think you get any bonuses with them. Maybe with the laborers.
I mean, if they're a faction, like, because we impressed a bunch of them and got the word out there.
I feel like that's valid.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you a +1 with the laborers.
Cool.
And we'll mark that down.
A lot of them are probably hooked on our high quality merchandise now.
Yeah, more than they were. Yeah, it's probably a lot now, or many at least. Cool. All right. So last we need to do XP. So let's step through. Let's begin with Sabine. Let's see Sabine's XP track.
Cool. So, I did not roll any desperate actions. I think I only rolled controlled actions.
Wow.
I mostly resisted things.
Yeah, very well. Yeah.
So no XP for that. So my next one is you addressed a challenge with tracking or violence. I shot someone.
Yep. You most certainly did.
Does trashing the machine count?
I think it does.
It's violent.
Yeah.
It's violent.
Because if that had gone poorly, you could have hurt a lot of the laborers there, right? Like,
True.
You could have really screwed some things up. So I think that counts as 2.
Cool. So next one, you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I reckon I probably get at least 1 for that, because of the whole, the sniping, kind of thing, and this is what I do, this is my background.
The fact that you can stay cool for 20 minutes to keep a level shot, that's clearly expressing what you've been good at for this whole time. That's your background as a military person. I think that's valid.
I like that.
But I think that's probably just 1.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And the next one is you struggled with issues from your visceral traumas. I don't think it especially came up.
No, I don't think so. Okay,
so that's me.
Yeah, so Sinica is next. You might be muted, Brandon.
Oh no!
Yeah, you're muted. Oh, I'm so sorry. I want to get to the bottom of this. This is so strange.
Bottom of this,
Yeah. Okay, give it a shot.
I don't know why this keeps happening.
Yeah. All right, you're back. Okay, we can hear you though. It's very strange.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll get to the bottom of it. And it's definitely not your fault. All right. So, do you want to step through your XP triggers?
So first, every time you roll a desperate action, mark XP. I rolled desperate twice.
And did you mark XP at the time?
I marked XP for what I think was one, but not the other.
Which one was that?
Yes.
Okay.
I marked XP for my first desperate roll. My finesse roll, but not my sway.
Not for the sway. Okay, so mark that's in. Yeah, that's in resolve. Actually, no. I think you marked you. There's no mark down for the finesse, so maybe you did it around the wrong way.
I may have.
Yeah. So mark for the prowess, and I think the resolve was all like you have already marked that one.
Oh right, I know what I did. I marked it. I marked it in my playbook,
Ah, okay, right.
and I marked the next one in my playbook as well.
Okay.
You addressed a challenge with deception or an influence.
2. Just take the 2, Brandon. Just.
Just 2. Where will I put those? I think I'll put those in resolve.
Can we just change the wording to that with seduction? Because, like, realistically, come on.
We could.
Yeah, that was perfect. All right, so your next one along?
You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I want to say that doesn't really come up at all.
Yeah,
I can't see
agree.
where. Yeah.
I can see kind of like. I can see kind of no. That will come onto the last one with the vice.
Yeah,
so,
I think so.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you struggled with issues from your vice or traumas during the session.
Well, let's really
What's
think
my
about
vice
this.
again?
Yeah.
What's my vice again?
Let's have a look.
Let me
Hard
remember
one.
what my
Oh,
remember what my vice is verbatim. It happens to be sex. Oh God, lots of sex.
Yes.
I wonder if that ever came up.
Yeah.
No.
I
Just give me all of the.
Yeah, I think I remember. I remember once or twice when you made the situation so much more just unnecessarily bad for you.
I think that was chat. Chat was reading a lot into it.
Oh, that was chat. Yeah.
I think it was subtext.
Yeah. Just take your 2 XP, Brandon.
So, what do we? How much is that?
That's definitely 2. I think 2 is the max you can get. Yeah, if it occurred multiple times, yeah, you take 2. Because, that was a lot. And you also trauma it out, right? You trauma it out with your sex worker vice purveyor ghost in your brain. So,
oh my God,
you know, that's
I did.
That's the name of a shitty Amazon erotica novel. I traumatized out with my ghost in my brain.
I'm about that. That's the next one you're writing. So that's what the Hard Times second issue is going to be. So Stavral, would you like to walk us through?
I already marked my desperate actions.
Cool.
I got 1 for desperate consort.
Yes.
Did I address the challenge with calculation or conspiracy?
I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Conspiracy because I was actually, if I could have gotten that far, I was going to like infiltrate the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh. So I was trying really hard to like. There's like a level where it's not a deception anymore, which is why it was a consort instead of a sway. I was trying to like get.
You were trying to be the ecstasy.
I definitely think.
I definitely think that's 1.
Yeah.
I'm hearing do you reckon it's 1 or just the 1? Okay. I feel like it's 2.
I'm thinking 1 for conspiracy, but there's also calculation involved with we have this as a plan that when the gunshots come through the window, the climbing gear comes out and there's just the instant adrenaline reaction.
Prepared for it.
And that felt professional to me. Like even though it didn't work out, like that felt like this was, you know, you weren't just running for it. You used actual like a plan, right? Even though it didn't exist. So I say that's 2. Okay.
Did I express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background? We have talked about Stavral's connection to Cain and the fact that they have attuned arcane implements to each other.
True. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds pretty relevant, yeah.
Oh, and absolutely, like we've already discussed, the fact that the instant reaction is to not deceive the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, but to method act their way into it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think a 2 on that. I think...
Yes, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Goddamn Dagger Islanders, bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the Vice. The Vice.
Did I struggle with issues from my Vice or traumas during the session? I picked my trauma. I'm picking Haunted.
Excellent. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you suffered from it this time around.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
But now that you've got a trauma, you know, hey, you're going to have plenty of time to be haunted in future
Absolutely.
sessions.
So that looks like 4 XP overall.
Cool. All right, and last but not least, Kane.
Sure.
Here we go.
Just to get a better idea, where exactly am I marking this XP?
So you can choose to mark it on your Playbook Advance line, or you can choose to do it in the individual attributes up the top. So you can mark it alongside Insight, Prowess, or Resolve.
Sure. All right. Okay. So I don't think I rolled any desperate actions.
Let's have a look.
I don't remember rolling anything desperately.
Risky.
I had a risky and standard, right? I don't think I even did a second. Did I do a second?
Yeah, no, you only did the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the one. Yeah,
risky.
risky. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You addressed a challenge with knowledge of arcane power.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. I feel like, is that justified just getting 1, or does anyone think I should get 2 for any other reason in particular there too?
Just because you didn't have to stay in that situation. Like, if you had have just summoned Nyrex into that machine and then used that for that one thing and then just left that ghost behind, that would have been so much safer for you, for one thing. You didn't have to stay there and root yourself to the spot and solve that situation.
Yeah, but it was in my beliefs to get that resolved, and so sure.
I think you're gonna
knowledge of understanding. Yeah,
exactly. I think you're gonna double tap that one because you're also your next trigger, which please.
You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I did a lot of that this session.
Yeah.
I did a fuck ton of it.
Yeah.
I did it when I expressed very, very passionate distaste at having to get Nyrex to teach us how to do the thing, to the point where I was incredibly uncomfortable and really resistant. So I think the point where I just removed the clothing straight after the operation had happened.
Yeah.
I don't really. I definitely, showed my belief and distrust of Nyrex and Possessor Ghost to the point where I was absolutely disgusted with it myself. That was a situation that we had to resort to. I showed my heritage by, again, connecting with the stone with Stavril.
Yeah.
And your set of energy and
energy there.
Yeah.
And again, I expressed my beliefs and making sure that the situation was resolved and we didn't just leave, that I had to get this ghost under control. I think that's I don't know if I'm allowed to get 4.
If we could give you 4, I would give you 4. But sadly, 2 is you've maxed this out. Yeah.
Per trigger.
I have absolutely maxed this out.
So you're 4 total thus far. 2 for the
Still
first
have
one,
4
2 for the
total.
second one. Yeah.
You struggled with issues from your vice or trauma to the section. I don't know if I struggled. I definitely did show the weird thing that I do when I do interact with the ghosts. I could say that I potentially struggle with trying to keep the ghost under control, and it was really unsettling for everyone involved. I don't know if anyone Sanika did witness that, but I don't know if I'm justified in taking one there. So I don't know if I struggled with it in any particular.
Well,
I did definitely struggle, but I don't think I struggled with the weed in it itself.
Realistically, you didn't need to use ghosts. Realistically, I feel like you struggled with that because Kane was the architect of that entire last act of getting out, right?
Yeah.
You could have solved that in a non-ghosty, non-arcane way. It probably would have been more dangerous in some ways.
Yeah.
But
But I had to do it by being unsettling.
exactly. You chose the weirdest way to approach that situation.
Yeah.
And caused plenty of problems because of that. But at
Yeah.
the same point in time, you solved the situation and you got your friends out.
Right.
I kind of feel like I definitely feel like that's worth 1. What does everyone think?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm happy to take none or 1 for this, so I don't mind.
I think it's 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you take 1.
Okay.
So that's 5 in total.
Finally making up the XP that I didn't get last time.
Yeah. That's how I've always found Blades.
Yeah.
You have sessions where you trade off. Some sessions you earn nothing, and then the next session you will earn like every single XP trigger you get 2 for. Like it's very weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's finish off with crew XP, and then we're done for the session. So, who wants to read out the crew XP?
Next time.
Sorry?
Did we want to leave off crew XP for next time so that we can recap again?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
It's
We could do the
just so
correct
helpful
speed and then
to
do the
anchor the
entanglements
recap.
and then
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Cool. All right. Well, then I guess that means we are swapping. I'll just open OBS. I always forget that it exists. To engaged in the game. Do you want to start us off, Alex, with your shout-outs?
Yeah. So as we established, I am Alex. My pronouns are they, them. Thank you for watching. If you go and sort of check me out, I am Silvios on Twitter and JJam on everything else. I do the occasional stream of a couple of games, run my own Oceanic Australian New Zealand community for a bunch of gamers to help make a sort of safer space online and a much more wholesome space for people to connect. And stay tuned for some projects I'm working on with my interactive novel about magical space humans and a bunch of interactive poems that I'm working on with Twine. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Brandon.
No!
It's doing it.
No!
It was so close to the end!
So close. It just had to get that final one. I guess, Lavender, do you want to take it away for the moment?
I could. Hi, I'm Lavender. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me at Dark Lavender Void on Twitter and Twitch and Discord and everywhere else. This time I will do an actual shout out. Sometime pretty soon, we're going to be doing some really cool stuff with my game Mortally Bankrupt, which is it's a streaming role-playing game about being consumed as and by media. And you're on a reality TV show.
Nice, yes.
So excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for everything that's going on with that. That's me.
Beautiful. Thank you. And now, the long-awaited Brandon.
Oh God, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
We can.
Okay, jeez. Hi, I'm Brandon. My pronouns are he, him, or they, them. I do a lot of things. So one of the things that I will definitely shout out today is that the Kickstarter for Uncanny Magazine's Year 5 production of their magazine just went up yesterday.
Oh,
It just lost you, Brandon.
it lost you mid-sentence.
That doesn't normally happen.
Yeah, that's the first time.
He's such a fiend.
That is wild.
And it was a good sentence.
Yeah,
too.
it was a good sentence.
Word.
Yeah, I mean every sentence
I don't know.
Brandon spits. Is
I
a
don't
good
know
I can
what's
hear you.
happening.
Okay, you're
I
back
don't know what's
now.
You're good.
happening. I'm gonna do this very quickly.
Yes.
So I am one of the featured poetry contributors of Year 5 of Uncanny Magazine. There are lots of very cool perks and rewards if you decide to back them on Kickstarter. One of which is that I will literally read 20 pages of your poetry and give you a critique, if that's a
Wow.
thing that you're into.
That's awesome.
So, yeah,
Cool.
definitely look at the Kickstarter. There's going to be, at some point during the Kickstarter, they're going to have a poetry reading. When that happens, I'm just gonna mention that on my Twitter, which is The Rising Tides, The Rising TITHES. So yeah, give them your money so they can make cool things.
Yeah, I posted a link to that Kickstarter in the chat. I am super keen, and I will be watching that as soon as this stream is over. Cool. Thank you for that, Brandon. Melody, do you wanna give your shout outs?
Sure thing. Hey, I'm Melody. You can find me on Twitter at Magic Space Girl. You can find my website, which has my portfolio of like writing, games, photos, nonfiction, poetry, etc. at melodynova.com. Yeah, it's been real fun. Thank you, chat. That's me.
Thank you. And last, I am Ben Sherry. I am a Maltese Australian game designer and writer. My pronouns are he, him. I was obviously the GM for this game, and I will probably be the GM and player on a few other games soon. I am hoping to be streaming a couple more things starting in either late August or early September. And you can find all my other links and stuff on this Twitch page. I am Ben_Sherry on Twitter. I have a website and a blog where I sell my games, and I also have a Patreon where you can fund the making of said games if you would like to. Thank you all for coming. It was wonderful to have you in chat. It's always incredibly fun to see the nonsense that you pick out of all of the nonsense that we say, and I'm incredibly grateful for you all coming along and watching us play a very dumb role-playing game campaign. It's I am a little bit staggered that you all sat through 3 hours of us being idiots, but I love you all for it. And I look forward to seeing you all in chat again for next session. I don't know when it will be. We are planning on doing every fortnight, but as is always the case with planning role-playing games, things get in the way. So we will be nominally back next fortnight, same time, same place. Obviously, we're not going to change Twitch channels. That would be madness. But it might not necessarily be next fortnight. But check out my Twitter feed and everyone else's Twitter feeds, because we will tweet about it excessively, probably too much.
No such thing.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming.
It's a good game, Brand. It's a good game.
It is a good game. Thank you all for coming, and we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Good time.